And the big story this evening is that the Delhi High Court has just put what is being seen to be a temporary hold. Temporary, I want to underline the word temporary. Temporary halt on the release of the movie Udaipur Files. The movie Udaipur Files is based on the beheading of tailor Kanhaiya Lal's, his beheading and murder in Udaipur in the aftermath of the Nupur Sharma controversy, where Nupur Sharma made some comments on a private news channel, and in the outrage that followed, many people made comments. One was Kanhaiya Lal, and the jihadis beheaded him. Ladies and gentlemen, in the Supreme Court yesterday, it was Javed, one of the accused of the beheading, who filed a petition, and there are they, the killers, bragging about the killing on tape, showing the weapon through which the beheading happened. And shockingly, it was one of the accused who files a petition in the Supreme Court demanding a stay on the release of the film, saying it's going to impact the judgment in my case. So these people are using our legal system. They may say they have a right to, but they are using our legal system to stop the release of a film. The Javed, one of the accused, filed a petition in the Supreme Court. Of course, it was someone else, Jamiat Ulema-e-Hind President Maulana Arshad Madni, who went to the Delhi High Court to stop the release of the film. Now, my question is, first of all, there is no need for the secularity to celebrate. This incident did happen. The beheading of Kanhaiya Lal did happen. And it must be mentioned that the Delhi High Court did not stay the film for being communal, defamatory or factually inaccurate. The stay was granted only because the petitioner had technically not exhausted the required statutory remedy, namely filing a revision under Section 6 of the Cinematograph Act before the central government. So there is no judicial observation labeling this film inflammatory, hateful or unlawful. So the secularity should stop trying to congratulate themselves that they've stopped the release of the Udaipur Files. The stay is only interim. It is conditional only till the government decides on the revision. So either the central government says we have problems. Either the BJP government says we have problems with the release of this film, then the film will not be released. Otherwise, this film will be released. Using this temporary stay to build a communal or ideological narrative against the film Udaipur Files is not only legally incorrect, it is deliberately deceptive and factually wrong. And now let me come to the moot issue. The moot issue and the question I asked to the secularity, the fraud secularity, the fraud pseudo-secularity is this. Do they have a problem in acknowledging the fact that Kanhaiya Lal was hacked to death in his shop in the Hathipol area of Udaipur by these two men holding this cleaver in their hand for supporting a social media post? The number two accused, Muhammad Riaz and Muhammad Gauss, had made this video and posted it online, sending shockwaves across the country. And this wasn't a heat of the moment beheading. The accused filmed the killing of Kanhaiya Lal, released the video online, ISIS style, and issued further threats. This was a calculated act of terror intended to instill fear and send a message to the nation. Are we now going to pretend it never happened? Are we going to say this never happened? That the beheading of Kanhaiya Lal is not a fact but fiction? Are we going to say it is factually inaccurate to say that jihadis beheaded Kanhaiya Lal? And so those people celebrating the fact this film is not going to be released by a few days must confront the fact that Kanhaiya Lal was killed for a Facebook post. This happened in India. This is the moment of the attack. Parts of it we are not showing, but just imagine this happens in our country. And if the truth about the way Kanhaiya Lal was killed is uncomfortable, maybe that discomfort is the reason this story must be told, not buried. Ladies and gentlemen, the people who want a film made on the Gujarat riots don't want a film released on the Sabarmati Express. They have a problem with the release of the Sabarmati report, the Kerala story and the Kashmir files. But they do not object when the BBC releases a documentary called India, the Modi Question, blaming the Prime Minister for the riots in which he has been given a clean chit. This is not the first time, ladies and gentlemen, things like these have happened. And remember this today. Of course, we don't agree with what she said. We don't. And the Supreme Court came down very heavily in Nupur Sharma saying that she has a loose tongue. And she's single-handedly responsible, according to the court, for what happened in this country. Will the same honorable courts and the honorable judges today say we must not know the true reality cinematically presented of how Kanhaiya Lal was killed? Ladies and gentlemen, everyone can have legal counsels, everyone can have lawyers, but everyone must also have common sense and a conscience. And sometimes when the raw truth is put out, like it is probably put out in the Udaipur Files, I haven't seen the film, then we must not hide from that truth. We must not pretend that the truth never happened. We must not run away from the facts. We must instead ask, why do the people who don't want Sabarmati Express, Kashmir files and Kerala story released, why do they also not want Udaipur Files released now? What, I ask, is common to all these four films and a lot more? That's food for thought.